What is going on, guys? We are back with another video today, and we are doing another realistic rebuild on Madden 21, and today it is the Minnesota Vikings, a rival of my favorite team, and they had themselves yet another, as expected, solid-looking draft. Obviously, we don't know how things are going to go for the future, but as far as the fan picks and the expert picks, they chose a lot of big-name guys, and the biggest name was Christian Darrisaw after a trade down, which is absolutely nuts. They got him from a trade down to the Jets, which in a sense, in essence, got them Kellen Mond, the potential franchise quarterback, perhaps. Lots of upside there. You never know. But talking about the offensive line, they definitely addressed some need there. They took two potential starting linemen, and they will be for us here in the first 3 rounds, with Darrisaw, who's obviously projected pretty high, maybe even could be superstar, and then Wyatt Davis, who I think, because of the name, I think could be a star. Strength's a bit low. This is a class that I downloaded, and I added a couple of players in there. Yeah, this person just did not change the overalls at all, but we'll do that real quick. They also took Nwangwu, who I would say, that's how I would say his name, super fast. We gave him 95 speed, 94 excel here. Of course, the overall is a little high, but running backs are always rated really highly on Madden this year. They got a wide receiver here, Mr. Marset. Kind of a perfect fit type of wide receiver. I wouldn't say like he's exactly like Jefferson, but the measurables are very similar, so you never know. I don't know how long it'll take for him to develop, but I don't think the Vikings are really too much in a hurry to get another wide receiver, another star wide receiver right now. I will say, though, I think the Vikings should have maybe made another play to grab a corner a little bit higher than they did, kind of like a mid to late 4th round player, Mr. Cameron Bynum. Don't even see him on the list here because he's like the 6th ranked guy. Obviously, they don't really, they need someone, but unless it's like a first round, maybe top 15 pick at corner, probably not going to land like a bona fide starter right out the gate anyway. So with a guy like Patrick Peterson on the roster, assuming he stays healthy, I suppose maybe not super rushed to take a corner this year. Next year, they got to take cornerback number 1. It just, unless they end up having like a top 5 pick, surprisingly, and a quarterback is there, they got to go cornerback in their first round pick for sure. Surratt, he's only like a 68 overall for us, but we moved him to right outside linebacker, which put him up to 60 to 71. Decent speed. I probably should have put him a little bit lower. Coverage stats are kind of high here, but overall, I like him quite a bit. I'm going to probably drop his finesse and power a little bit there, but it doesn't really matter anyways. He's going to be an outside linebacker. Barr, who I'm pretty sure still has a couple of years on his contract. Hoping to get him to superstar would be clutch. The team is not looking too bad already, and I will admit, this is a team that I have pretty damn high on my list for Madden franchises, I will say. The problem is with Kirk Cousins is that damn contract. Obviously, in a franchise, you want Kellen Mond right away to start for you, but I don't know if you're going to be able to get that with Kirk Cousins' fresh contract, or rather fresh contract, of course. Let's actually see his numbers. So yeah, you're kind of stuck with him. I honestly don't know how this rebuild is going to go with us for Kellen Mond, because unless Kirk Cousins is just dirt poor bad, there really isn't a play for us to start Kirk Cousins. They kind of have him on one of those, like, you're stuck with us forever, we're stuck with you forever deals. Like, his dead hit would be like $70 million this year, and then $45 for the next year, which is insane. I'm not sure how those numbers work out, by the way, but that's ridiculous. Honestly, seeing that contract, that alone might be half the reason Rodgers is unhappy. Just seeing an interdivisional quarterback like that getting paid that kind of money is ridiculous. Especially one that's, slightly above average. But speaking of that, I'm hearing a couple of reports that Kirk Cousins is unhappy with the signing or the drafting of Kellen Mond, but honestly, I don't think he has that kind of leverage. Like a Rodgers, a Mahomes, or a Brady, Brady, what can you really say? But, these types of guys would have, because obviously he is more on the average side, like we said, and it is a 3rd-round quarterback, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. Now, here's the thing. It is really awkward contractually to bench Kirk Cousins, but right now the team is playing just so poorly. I would have a hard time seeing after, 6 games, maybe 7 games, this is your quarterback numbers and you don't start Mond. I just don't see it. 31st and all, you have to. We also have Xavier Woods getting a breakout, the first breakout attempt of the year, and he gets it in 20,000 XP. And then, it's 7 games through. Okay. We have a new breakout, and then this is the breakout from last week as well. Mike Hughes, can't really expect him to get to superstar. I've had so many corners fail time and time again. Johnson, he's either 24 or 26, which is a pretty big difference. But if he's 24, I mean, I don't mind it, right? 23, okay, I'm cool with that. Get that freaking dev up, boy. Damn it. The thing is, we don't need you to be a number 1. We need you to be a number 3, but you still get good dev, please. Thank you. Also, I didn't get to sell out in time. I'm pretty sure I re-signed him, by the way. That's scary. But maybe leave a like if you like these updated rosters rebuilds. Obviously, we'll be redoing these in Madden 22 anyways with the proper overalls and, devs, because obviously these are going to be way different to the actual game. Maybe subscribe. We do a ton of franchise stuff, like a ton. Do a little bit of NFL stuff. Maybe I'll get more into the NFL side of things video-wise next season, or, this upcoming season. Maybe follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, second channel PK Plays, and then twitch.tv/Jeromepkr for pretty much all things me but Rams franchise. Also, while you're down there below, maybe it'll give me some ideas, but let me know what team you're excited for to use in franchise for Madden 22, or just in general to watch on the gridiron. And apparently want him. I want him now because he's... Oh, wait. Damn it, I thought he just got it. He's telling me about cafeteria food and stuff. I don't... he did get it in the end anyways, but this is a very interesting kind of Washington football team, or Washington R-word situation, where I believe it was the McNabb kind of, I wouldn't say era, but when they had McNabb on the roster and they kept benching every quarterback left and right. We're losing a bunch of games with Mond in now as well. So I have no idea what's going on here. I have no idea how to turn this around, but this team is superiorly bad. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean here. Of course, that loss right at the end makes things very interesting. I don't know if we have the number 1 picks still or not. And we appear to. Man, I have no idea. This is the first time in a rebuild where I'm kind of like, what the hell do I do? Because these two quarterbacks did not play well at all. They just did not play well at all. And, you have a guy like Kirk on the contract for that kind of yearage, the kind of situation. What do you do? What do you do? I'm actually going to cut his contract, though, a bit here. I think I'm going to put it down to 1 year remaining, because I believe 2022, I'm not going to do it for every single quarterback, but 2022 is when they would be able to get rid of him, maybe, I believe. How does this work, actually? Because the season's over, so I'll just wait till the draft, because it's confusing stuff. Or near the draft. Quarterback Josh Allen is the MVP. Could have seen that actually this year, but I think Rodgers earned it because of the age. 98 overall, makes sense. Very solid quarterback as well. As far as the NFC side goes, Eric Kendricks with the Defensive Player of the Year award. And didn't see anything else here. Obviously, I didn't take a look at the defensive side of things, but I can't imagine it was too pretty, considering we just sucked all around. Danielle Hunter was decent, got back into form a bit. Kendricks, obviously, with that Defensive Player of the Year award. Could go to X Factor, which would be massive for regression defense. Mike Hughes with the tackles, maybe. Barr with the tackles, maybe. Woods maybe with the tackles as well. The defense was okay. The numbers were okay. EA predicting that the Packers and Browns will be in the Super Bowl here, and the winner is the Browns. Of course, we already did our re-signing stuff. Heading on to free agency with about $15 million to work with. The thing is, once again, we're going to be moving Kirk Cousins' contract. I must call him Kirk Contract, which is probably what they call him in Minnesota now. We're going to move it down to a final season situation, so that we know exactly what kind of the retirement or the regression, what am I even talking about? The release would be. Jesus. $30 million, so it's still going to cost us a ton, which I believe is pretty close, right? I think he's guaranteed. Oh, is he guaranteed $45 million? Just straight up in 2022. So, like, no matter what they do, they can't get rid of him. He's making a little bit too much here, so we'll adjust that, but it's not going to change too much, to be honest. Looking straight at quarterback, Dak Prescott in free agency here, which is not true. Brendan Sheriff, I mean, we'd be in an okay spot to sign him if we didn't have Kirk Cousins on this roster, but, of course, there's no point in pointing out the obvious. I don't know. We have the number 1 overall pick. If there's, like, a quarterback there, maybe even, like, a Heisman winner, I don't know if you could pass one up. I think if the thing is, Minnesota in real life, I just don't see them getting anywhere near the top pick overall. So going forward, do we force a couple of wins to avoid a situation like this where, you know, Vikings, even with injuries, are probably a 7-win team at minimum? It's a very rough spot to be in where we're picking number 1 overall. So I'm just hoping that there's no quarterbacks there and Minnesota just lets the dice roll anyways. Jalen Phillips, okay, makes sense. But here, I'm really just not seeing any players worth signing. And I will say, there's not really much of a choice here. I will keep this guy on the list just in case he falls to the second round, which he should, or later. But I'm not really liking the quarterback room at all. Obviously, corner is here, but number 1 overall corner that isn't fully guaranteed is a little iffy. I will say this Elam guy, he's actually not looking too bad. Pass rusher is also one of the bigger needs for Minnesota still, which there are a few here for sure. I think if you're Minnesota here, you trade down, but I will say the trade down value for this season, unless it's a team looking to trade up for a pass rusher, probably isn't going to be as high as other seasons, which is kind of ironic because, once again, there really should be no draft class. Oh, this guy looks good. There really should be no draft classes where there isn't at least one quarterback looking to go top 5. It's very rare that happens. All right, so with the pick number 1, it's going to be tough for me because I want to move down to like 3 or 4, but I don't know if we're going to get the value out of it. I don't think any of these teams would be willing to give up. The Dolphins definitely wouldn't, so we have to move to the Bengals at best. They have pick 4. I think a second this and a third next because there's no quarterback and it's not a team trading up for a quarterback. I'd be willing to make the trade, and hopefully that's what the game values it at. If not, I'm going to be sad. Really. If you look at the draft pick calculator, it's apparently us giving up pick for a value of 3,000 and them giving up 2,580. So little iffy there, yeah. Trying to see if there's anything we can give up. Maybe Alexander Madison. I don't really think he's going to be here too much more, like long-term wise, so I wouldn't mind doing that. It's not preferred, but, I tried to give him DJ, but they didn't want him. I had to. I'm sorry. I had to do it. Look at the analytics. It's like, for some reason, people quit on the video at this point. I don't know what it is. Apparently, they won't even take it if we just, ask for this straight up. Do we just make the argument that because there's no quarterback in this class, pick 1 isn't as valuable, and there's a lot of talent in the top 10? I'm just going to make that argument that, you know what, pick 1 isn't as valuable this year, but they're still willing to go up and get their guy because obviously they're guaranteed whoever they want at pick 1. Please, EA, just do something semi-realistic for once. All right, so we get the trade accepted, but I got to remember to give us a third round off of them because this is just BS. Moving from 1 to 5 and all we get is a second round pick is pretty bad. And we give them Alexander Madison. And they end up taking the number 1 overall player. So it's not like they took some random player. They actually got a really good player that they needed. The reason why I'm okay with moving down here is because I would assume, and he is there, the Heisman winner is there. You have Leo Hawkins who's there. David Keenan wouldn't even be that bad of a pick. But ultimately, I think our pick is going to be Austin because it's not easy to win Rookie of the Year as a defender. The skills are lacking a little bit, but he's fast enough. He's 21, which is really impressive to me. And he's an early first talent. He's got to at least be star or better. I know that's not crazy, a super crazy confidence thing for me, but as a Heisman winner, I think it's the best choice, and I am happy to take him. I reached, yeah, sure I did. 83 speed, 88 excel. Wish it was speed, take off 2 excel, put it onto the speed. 85, 86 would be nice. Both styles, it said power was his number 1, but finesse seems to be better. I think we're going to turn him into a finesse guy. I know you probably want dual style where You know, Daniil Hunter would be the finesse. This guy would be the power, but that strength is lacking. I'm going to make him a finesse guy, I think. And that is a good pick. I will say, though, I would have liked Elam. You can tell that he is pretty good looking. Cordani was a guy that they mentioned. Did they say he was a rising star, I believe? We could kind of use safety. We need corner more, though, but I don't think there's really an option at corner at this point. So, yeah, I mean, there's really not much we could do there. Early second. You can also have this guy, early first talent grade. Alex Sheldon might be worth taking. We'll see. I mean, there's a lot of talent here. The thing is, this is a very talent-filled draft class, but the problem with the talent is it's all kind of like bulked into one position group. It's like all pass rushers, pretty much. All pass rushers and safeties, which, I mean, we got our pass rusher. We don't really need like 45 pass rushers. Late second, I'm kind of thinking we trade this down to 15. Oh, we have pick 5 in the second round as well because of the trade down. Do we maybe just turn this into a first round next year from the Niners? First round straight up. I feel like you should probably get more, but let's see. First things first, I wonder if the Niners, like if we actually try to do this straight up, if they would actually give it to us, or if the game's like just glitching out. Nope, that's the wrong thing. A fourth this and a first next, I think would be worth it. Because this, in essence, is a first round pick. So like if the Niners go 32nd overall or whatnot, like I want something back. I'm actually going to try to get a little bit more off them. I'm going to put the second rounder on there just for the hell of it. Not even close. Let's go to Miami. And this is kind of the trade I'd like to see, a Falcons trade, so we don't really move back too far again. That's probably where we're going to be taking our players. I don't want to really risk too much more. We gained a little bit of talent off of it anyways. Irvin would be nice, but we just don't need him anymore. Ben Cordani, a little more raw, but he climbed up the board. He's got really good athletic numbers, and obviously he's young, so we're going to take him. And, oof, they said that he was rising. And I will say, as a user player, he does have a lot of potential. We basically just took Harrison Smith 0.7. And then pick 9, we're going to be taking a linebacker, which we probably should have taken first because that was the bigger need in general. But Alex Sheldon's still there. Looks really good. This could be a steal. And 72 overall, he's very solid, really good catching, and decent jumping especially. But, yeah, I mean, he's good. There's nothing special about him. And then for our next picks, there's really not a whole lot going on for us. Terrence Cleveland to the Browns. Was that the tight end we had on the list? I don't think I was going to take him anyways. No, it's Quayshawn Alford, who we had. DT somewhat on the needs list. He looks pretty damn good. Oh, he's very good. That's who we're going to take. Mr. Randall Adams. Looks like he's going to be a bona fide steal, and he is. 75 overall normal. Could be a future replacement for one of the 2 DTs that we have that are somewhat on the aging side. Gotta say, these devs are very disappointing, but that is the way Madden goes. Middle linebacker. This guy has some value, but, I mean, he's really just the athlete part that you're looking for. Really wanted a lineman, but this was the weakest lineman class I've ever seen. Like, it was very, very bad. We didn't end up getting that first round off the Niners, so we're going to take their third round instead. A bunch of pretty awful offers, to be honest. I mean, the Jaguars are literally just saying, hey, move back with us for fun. I'm like, no, dude, I'm not going to do that. All right, so we're in the 5th round. Our quarterback prospect is gone. I mean, he really wasn't looking too promising anyways. I think we're actually going to take the running back, Andrew Carrington. We lost Alexander Madison. Try to get ourselves a dual-type back. More of a power back, though. And this guy looks like a pretty damn good fit. Looks like he could be a steal, too. 70 overall normal. And he kind of is. He is very solid. Great stamina. Fights for yards. Fast enough to get the job done. Not really seeing the elusiveness traits in him, though. You know, that agility's really low, even though the juke move is high. But a very, very good pick. And obviously, we will be changing number 28 because that's just, I mean, unless you're a first-round running back, I don't think you should be having that number around here. But we also do have to have the realistic expectation of what are the chances he isn't lazy and forgets to do it. I mean, I don't think those chances are very high. And really all we have left are kind of smaller players. This guy fits the bill the most as a bigger type. 5th round's a bit early, though. Late 6th. Yeah, we're going to trade this down. We end up adding a 4th with the 2 5ths we have this round. We still have one more to get the Lions pick next year. I completely forgot about the freaking interdivisional, man. I don't know why I think I'm doing a Jaguars rebuild. We've seen an interdivisional this year with the Cowboys and Eagles, but I don't know. Let's go with the early 7th D-end. He kind of looks more of a DT, but we'll take him anyways. And he's hidden. That makes things very interesting. He's got some potential, but that strength is a little low. He had 31 reps. How is 31 reps 81 strength? That seems pretty low, no? And then we still have the guard there. I think this is going to be a waste of a pick, but I'm going to take him anyway. 65 overall, some depth. With this pick, we take a kicker. Highest kick power by far of all the rookies. 89 is his ranking. Oh, man. He might be actually our starting kicker. I don't even remember who the hell we have. He's not really that great, though. We're also going to take a random scrambling quarterback, and we land ourselves a hidden. Very interesting, to say the least. He has no shot to start this season, so I will take a look at the dev. If he's superstar, though, maybe he's the guy of the future. Who knows? That was a bit random. Those guys do pop up every once in a while, so it doesn't really surprise me. James Austin. Oh, we didn't really even need a pass rusher, actually, because Wanham. Damn. Put him at right end anyways. Number 59 doesn't really seem to make sense. I don't think number in the 90s really makes sense either, but whatever. And he's an X Factor. Yes. Wanham will be traded, obviously, but still. This D end was obviously, we're going to put him at DT even though his strength's low. It's kind of cheese, but I'm going to raise his strength. It just doesn't make any sense for him to have no strength. Dev is star, so this guy's not going to really matter anyways, but I'll put him at 87 strength, just kind of like a bare minimum sort of deal. And then Jaden McGee, I can't imagine higher than star. It'd be insane if he was, but there's no chance. Number 5, all right, interesting. Let's take a look at some of the guys he passed on. So Meeks, Don Meeks, hidden development trade. Definitely could use corner, but our pass rusher was an X factor. No matter what the Wanham situation is, you can't go wrong. Superstar for Mr. Meeks. Right tackle at number 2, normal dev. Gotta love it. Elam. Oof. Hidden development trade, huh? That's great. And he's a superstar. Sweet. What's his man coverage, actually? Oh, we should have grabbed him and played him at corner. That's all right, though. Here's Leo Hawkins, who is normal. Thankfully, we didn't go with him. I kind of almost thought about it. Keenan, really? Only 85 speed, though. That seems really bad. But hey, we did all right. Oh, actually, what was the quarterback? Saints apparently took him. Take a look at that quarterback. Mr. Henry Bayless. He is star. He actually looks pretty decent, too. Definitely a steal for the Saints, regardless of dev. But hidden development trait, what is he? Okay, I don't mind that, because we're still in a weird spot. But okay, I mean, do you trade Wanham now? I will say his potential is there, but he didn't really have a great season. So this time we might actually have to kind of like ignore the dev for realism for us. And I can't imagine he was that high of a pick by Minnesota, right? 4th round pick. So I guess you keep him on the roster for this season, and he just plays backup, and you know, we see what we can get out of him. And then next season we trade him for maybe even like a 2nd round pick if he's got the overall. All right, year 2 is here, and Kirk Cousins is looking to be on his final year with the Minnesota Vikings. Okay enough. Like, he can get things done with that, of course. Play action's insane. I would say this fellow right here is a big reason for that. Jefferson's star on here. I didn't even remember. I thought he was already superstar. I'm not going to change him, even though I think he does deserve superstar, but that's fine. Kellen Mond, I mean, he's still quote-unquote young. I think he'd be 23 in real life, but I can't change his age, because if I change his age, then he'll be a year older compared to the rest of the class, so we're just going to have to just swallow the bullet on that. Oh, no. He's going to be younger? Oh, damn, dude. Of course, looks pretty decent. I'm not guaranteeing that, you know, Kirk Cousins, once again, is going to remain the starter. Kellen Mond could, once again, take over mid of the season. And I forgot we had dev up chances, and we got some. Xavier Woods, 80 overall, gets to superstar. Absolute win and a half. Of course, Kendricks doesn't get to X Factor, which really sucks. Barr, who I think is on contract for a couple more years, gets to superstar, which is massive. And I believe that to be it. Things to note is that Harrison Smith likely will be gone. Kind of depends on his regression. He needs a contract this year. You can already see the speeds dropping a bit. He's still pretty damn smart, pretty damn good, but if he drops like drastically, which I'd project like 5 or 6 overalls, Cordani's going to get a shot. I don't know if Woods needs a contract, but I would probably pay him. Was he 26, 27? 26 at superstar, that's fine. Need a new corner for sure. That's kind of the big issue around here for a fact. And then D-line, I think, is actually pretty damn set. Dalvin Tomlinson's decently young. Pierce, if he can get to a superstar or whatever, he's going to be a god. And then we have 2 X Factor edge players. As far as receivers go, we didn't have any dev ups. So, I mean, we're not in the worst spot, right? Like, offensive line is pretty decent. So, I mean, I'm cool with it. All right, speaking of those re-signings, Brian O'Neill, this is actually kind of a steal. So I'm going to take him for 6. Mike Hughes, I mean, I don't know if I see him as, like, a true outside corner, but a 5-year deal even for the slot position is not bad. Wyatt Davis should have another 2 years here, so I'm going to adjust that real quick. Same with Mr. Chaz here, who I believe is already actually 24 in real life, which is a little iffy, but I suppose you can't re-sign everyone anyway, so doesn't really matter how old they are starting as long as they're decent. Kellen Mond, obviously, another 2 years as well. I'm not going to pay him that kind of money for a contract that, he would have a 4-year on. Obviously, he probably should be making a little bit more money than that, but whatever. It's not that big of a deal. Kirk Cousins, unlikely to get that contract. I'm going to be honest with you. All right, I don't know what's going on in Minnesota, but I'm not liking it. We're improving, but we're still 6-10. I decided to pull Kirk Cousins, who was playing okay right here after this Falcons loss. Just too many losses to teams that we should have beaten. Well, maybe not too many, but Lions we should be beating. The Bengals we should be beating. The Falcons we should be beating. There's some teams here we should be beating. This is when Mond came in. He won the first 2, lost 2, won 1, lost 2, won 1. I don't know what to tell you. The quarterback situation here is just rough, apparently. As far as this, the season goes, once again, I mean, very similar. Kirk definitely played better this time around, but we were still losing. I thought, those were decent numbers, but maybe we can get more out of Mond. I mean, they're both similar, so honestly, there's no point in keeping Kirk. But I also don't know if there's any point in starting Mond. So we'll be looking at quarterback yet again in the class, in the draft for a fact. Justin Jefferson should go to superstar. Irv was kind of rough. Adam Thielen, who could be on the, he's definitely on the path to retirement. It wasn't so great himself. O-line was pretty bad, but I don't know why. I mean, the offensive line is definitely far from the worst now. Sack totals, what even is that, EA? What even is that? We have 2 X-Factor edge rushers and pretty decent DTs. Come on. Harrison Smith, we should at least be good against the ground, right? We should dominate the ground attack, at least. Let's take a look at what our defensive numbers were for rushing. The least amount of rush yards allowed. To be fair, I didn't see if we were there. We were like middle of the pack. That just doesn't make any sense. We have a pretty damn elite linebacking group. Well, maybe not elite, but we have a couple of really good names. Zach Wilson wins MVP. A couple of decent names, and obviously our D-line is insane. Rookie of the Year goes to the Saints rookie quarterback, although I don't know how much competition there is when he was literally the only decent quarterback that was a rookie, the only one that would have even had a chance to start. So kind of won that by default. Interesting matchup, Jacksonville versus Dallas, and Jacksonville does not win. We have re-signings, but let's first take a look at our dev-ups. Did we have any? And we did. Justin Jefferson goes to Superstar. He probably should have been Superstar already, but I will say he wouldn't have been X-Factor because he had a good season, but not good enough, I don't think, to go X-Factor. Slot Apprentice, deep out. Let's go red zone threat, I suppose. It doesn't really matter too much. Mond, apparently the quarterback of the future for right now. Sheldon goes up to... Oh, all the linebackers went up. Star Dev. How the hell... Left outside linebacker is OP, dude. It just is OP. Oh, Pierce. That's massive. Speaking of massive, he's a big fella. Okay, dude. That's pretty OP. Gotta admit. That's a good set of dev-ups for a 6-10 team, I will admit. The defense apparently carried... Harrison Smith, man, that is a tough one because he's still good enough to play for a fact, but is that our biggest need? Probably not, right? A 2-year. If it was a 1-year, can I change this to like a 1-year 10? I think that's pretty fair. I think he takes that in real life. I should have checked what the tag was. The tag's going to be like 13 mil or something like that. Maybe that's what he's playing for. He's like, you know what, if I just hold out, maybe they're going to just give me the tag, but... Unfortunately, buddy, I think a 2-year 16, 2-year 17 for a guy that really only has 1 left in the tank is a little too much. And Jair Alexander, I will admit, a very likely chance that he does get let go by the Green Bay Packers. Chris Barnes. Jesus, look at that overall. There's a good chance the Packers can't afford him. It's just simply put. They are in a very bad spot right now. The only chance is if Rodgers doesn't remain. So I'm going to offer him a 5-year 90. I know that if it was the free agents market like it is, I don't even want to fathom how much money Jair could make. He's going to make at least 20 per. I would imagine that number could be a 5-year 110, maybe even more in the free agent market if he plays as well as he has. And then this is a tough one to pass on. Baker Mayfield. The thing is, I think Cleveland, if he's a 90 overall, re-signs him. So I'm going to make the argument that Baker wouldn't be here. Brady to the Vikings would be an interesting one, but don't really need him. So we do get Jair Alexander, and I'll be honest, with the Vikings have had a decent past, I suppose, with taking big-name players from inside their division, and having an issue at corner since probably Antoine Winfield was there, and even then, their other corners really weren't super great when he was around. I think they finally addressed the position, and Jair makes a lot of sense. I just don't see, with the way the Packers are trending right now, that they'll be able to keep him, so I'm making the argument that Minnesota goes in on one. Obviously, in real life, Patrick Peterson, I'm going to take a look, but there's no way the Vikings signed him to a 3-year deal. I might have to release him here. I would imagine it was like a 1-year. It was a 1-year deal, so we shouldn't even have had him as long as we did. Don't get me wrong, I'll take him for a 3-year deal, but I just don't think that's very realistic. So, well, not even I don't think. It's literally not realistic. But as far as what we need, corner could still be on the list, maybe a number 3, but I'm not going to go too high with that. Linebacker is definitely something to think about. Safety, something to think about. But realistically, defense is something we could probably ignore a little bit. Quarterback's very high on the list. Wide receiver is pretty high on the list. Right guard is on the list. So we're in a good spot. This should be a playoff team. Jair adds quite a bit to this team. I think this has got to be a playoff contender, at least to the playoffs. And as far as quarterback goes, the best you got is Josh Jordan, who would be something we would maybe take in the late second. You also have Nicholas Toon. I really don't know what to think. This is supposed to be the Kellen Mond rebuild, and maybe this is finally the year he actually gets his chance, like full on. No, like maybe he's the second guy, maybe he's the number 1. We'll start a mid-season. Maybe we give him one final shot, but will we ever have another top 7 pick is the question. The problem is there's no damn quarterback here, so I'm not really sure. I'm also not really sure why I'm looking at running back so much, although early first. So we're in the draft, and there is a Heisman safety. His name is Massey. I don't even think I would want to take him up this high. I definitely want to see how good he is, and there he is to the Dolphins. There are a couple of late first, late second type of talents that I kind of am interested in. I don't know how high they are going to go, but where are they? These fellas. Ben Pippin is a must, and then Stallworth, pretty damn good himself, so I think I'm willing to trade down a bit. I'm not sure what I could get out of 7, but maybe 20 in like a first round if we're lucky. We get 21 this and 27 next year from the Titans. And they take one of the good pass rushers, of course. There was a lot of decent pass rushers in this one. I think we're going to move to 17 or 18 and I hope both of the corner and wide receiver are there, because this could be a massive draft for us, especially out in that first round, which we could use to trade back up. Ben Pippin went at 15. Wow, that's high. I mean, I will say if one of the two are going to go, I did want him to go, because there are more, I mean, there always is more wide receivers than there are corners that are more obvious. So I was cool with that. I don't know how much it would cost to move up here. A 4th this, a 5th next. I mean, I can't really imagine it would be too much. It's only 5 picks back. I think that's okay. Especially since I think our 4th is actually pretty decent. Corner is obviously the biggest need, but I will take a look. You know, you got to make sure. We also have this guy. Ooh. We actually really do need wide receiver. So here's the thing. I want the corner for a fact, but we also do have these wide receivers. This guy's a mid-3rd. Looks okay. This guy, similar to the guy that we just lost. The guy we just lost is going to be very good, though, I can tell. I'd be willing to take both of those players, to be honest. So, first things first, corner looks unpassable. And Tresman, Stallworth, normal development trait, good zone coverage, very good player. Great number 3 right now. Maybe even moves up to the number 2 spot. And then this, I don't think, oh, you can't trade to Chicago, and they could use a wide receiver. So, yeah, I am going to be trading up to the Buccaneers here. All right, so we trade the Buccaneers, want them, a second-round pick 39 to be exact, and 73 for 17 from the Buccaneers. They could use edge. Obviously, they'll see if he can make the move to outside linebacker. I don't think he will, but, I mean, they want him. They want him, so we'll give it to him. Kevin Ware. It's a little bit, you know, kind of an iffy player, but I think he's good enough to take a risk on. And 75 overall normal. Okay. Oh, he's very solid, actually. Okay, I'll take that. That's a very good-looking wide receiver there. I mean, kind of like a faster... I don't want to everything... Like, everyone isn't Justin Jefferson, but, you know, very good player. We still have our first rounds next year. I did offer one of the first rounds next year instead, but that just wasn't a case that we could make. I'm half tempted to actually give up our next year first because they actually value it as pick 1 overall, which just... I mean, if we're number 1 overall, I don't know what to tell you because we should not be even close to that. DT's not that big of a need, but this guy looks really good for the value. For linebacker, we definitely need one. I just crap my pants. You could sort of make an argument that we need the linebacker and DT kind of at the similar like rate. So I'm going to move until, you know what, actually, let's see if we can try to get both again. Even though we didn't get the wide receiver, but we got a wide receiver. I mean, we got a lot of picks here. Obviously, we are dipping a little bit into next year. Is that fair? Okay, so I don't think we're going to be able to pull off a second one, but maybe. So you trade 89, Gladney, and a 5th-round pick to the Steelers for their second round as well, which if you think about like where projections were and all that, I think that's kind of fair. Middle linebacker probably is the bigger need, so I'm going to take this one first. 72 overall normal, exceptional athlete. And then DT, I'm going to make sure that we don't have anyone else. I think we do have a DT later as well. I don't think I got to scout him, though, did I? 42 bench reps. That's a tough one to not be able to see, I'll tell you what. Ooh, we kind of need this wide quarterback, though. We're going to pass on this the DT. We moved on to the late second with that pick and collect a 4th. And even though I really don't want to take a quarterback, I think you have to. I don't know what to expect. And he's not bad by any means, and he has a lot of potential. He's 21 as well, but I'm not happy with it. He just doesn't really bring too much more than Kellen Mond. So it's kind of iffy. Don't really need a running back, but can you really pass up on the potential? Ooh, we do have the center too, though. Mid-second, late 4th projector. We don't need the running back, but he's an early first talent grade. It could be an absolute steal. Dalvin will be the the running back for the future, though. Early 6th for Sinclair. I don't know. I think we're going to pass on him. I think we take the center. Let's take the center. Winslow. Oh, that sucks. When I'm thinking about taking a very high-grade running back or any lineman ever, I got to just take the running back or trade down because there's no point. And here, this is why I did kind of pass on the running back is because you have this guy, and we're going to take him, Sinclair, who is pretty damn good. Not a bad pick. We still have that first next year. We did lose some of our later picks, but I think we maneuvered the draft decently well. And this is where we're going to trade down. Suppose we'll take another wide receiver, Darius Rushing, who is a 68 overall normal. I was hoping that the other drills would have made his speed a little bit higher, but they didn't. Aggressive catch. I mean, this guy does have potential as well. We ran out of scouting points, which is a bit embarrassing, but we're still going to take the risk on Darren Burke, who is a 66 overall normal. Ooh, he's slow. Fullback, Mr. Will Richards, hidden development trait. Very solid, actually. Okay, that's a win. Interesting draft, to say the least. I don't think we landed a single hidden outside of the fullback, though, which is a bit embarrassing. It's going to be really sucky when this Pippen wide receiver is hidden. Oh, he is only normal. Very solid player, but the fact that he's normal, it doesn't really make him too much better than the guy we drafted, so I'm not even worried about it. Cutler. Cutler back in Chicago. Why? Don't they have Fields? What is this? Where's my DT? Here's one of the running backs, Justin Moore. Where is my DT? Was this the guy? I can't remember, honestly. Oh, here he is. This is the guy. Gregory Messina. Not bad at all, but normal dev, so I'm not really crapping myself over it. And then I kind of want to see... I don't think this was the other quarterback. The other quarterback was a scrambler, I believe. Also, what was the running back? This might have been the guy? I don't know. But here's the running back. And he's okay, but it's kind of on the slower side. He'd be a really fun player, though. Like, I know he's a little slow, but very solid trucking and stiff arm out the gate. That's insane. That's really high. 84 trucks, 86 stiff. It's insane. All right, year 3, and Kellen Mond's a 74 overall. That's what I'm talking about. Short accuracy is really good. Medium and deep are kind of iffy, which is what you would expect from him. As far as everyone else goes, though, Kevin Ware. He's got himself a potential shot to be a star in the future. Obviously, he'll be the number 3 for now, but Adam Thielen, obviously, on his way out soon. This guy will be the number 2. Ham will be on his way out. Richards will be number 1. The offense doesn't really need too much work. Irv Smith would be nice to have him dev up a little bit, but you know it's not easy for tight ends. The defense is pretty solid, especially with Alexander there. Stallworth, once again, could steal this show from Hughes. We'll see what happens. Maybe even Stallworth plays free safety. Woods moves over to strong. We'll see what happens, but as of right now, I'm liking the team. Oh! Kellen Mond with a dev up. Hell yeah. That is so rare. All right, re-signings. Pierce is asking for a lot of money. We'll get back to that in a little bit. Garrett Bradbury, I think that's a 5-year deal, right? I mean, that's less than open market value, so it's a win for us. Irv will get the contract. I like what Xavier has done for us. I'll give him one. Dalvin will let go. Johnson will let go. Pretty much the rest will let go. But let's re-sign Pierce. We have the money after all. 2-year deal. I think we can get a 3-year, but I feel like maybe we can get him for cheaper when he actually needs another contract. So 2 years fine. And then Irv will obviously give a contract to Xavier. Will get one too. Playoff time, and we do win a couple of games near the end, but apparently, oh my God, look at the division. We go 8-8, but man, we had a rough start to the season. We just could not bounce back quick enough. 4 wins in a row at the end kind of solidifies Mond probably as the quarterback. Oh, it definitely does, because he had a really good season. I don't know what's wrong then. You know, I didn't look at the numbers mid-season or anything like that. I was just assuming Mond was the reason, but I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, as we have Justin Jefferson getting to X Factor after this season is up. Kevin Ware, not a bad start to his rookie campaign. Lots of mouths to feed here. Offensive line played poorly, but I don't think it has anything to do with them or the overall. I just think that's just the way Sim goes. And Joe Garfield has been a pretty damn good kicker for us. Offensively ranked 4, so scheme seems to be fine. And the defense, I think everything's fine. I don't understand how you go 4th and 12, have almost an MVP season with Mond, only losing to the Sim God himself, and you don't make the postseason. I don't get it. I really don't. We had a couple of best players awards. I don't know, dude. I guess we just had a tough schedule. And to be fair, we lost to a couple of teams that I wouldn't expect to lose to, so I don't know. Super Bowl results between the Seahawks and the Chiefs. Seahawks win it all. 90 overall team, and we are entering year 4, so I would expect that. It's been a bit of a slow burn, though. Like, this is a pretty damn good roster right now. It was before this year. It was before that year. But now we finally seem like we're probably going to do some damage. Anthony Barr and Kendricks are still decent because of that X Factor holding them up. Defensive dev up. Sheldon goes to Superstar. And I seen Cordana goes to Star as well. But he's still only a 74 overall, which is kind of rough. We have the money for Dalvin, but I think we already have a guy, even though we probably have to re-sign him next season as well. I think we already have a guy that's kind of similar to his skill set anyways, and we do need something to draft, I suppose, regardless. Adam Thielen is still pretty good. He's 33, and he's still balling out. So, I mean, I'm not going to get rid of him until the money isn't right or he isn't good. So, I'm just going to leave it for now. He didn't upgrade a single time with 2 upgrade points. How? He's a 93 medium now, 82 deep. He's pretty damn good. I'm telling you, the Vikings are very high on my list. I think there's a good chance we run Vikings-Lions. I'm just going to say it. But I don't know. I think if the Lions are for the online league, I think we might have to pass on the Vikings. Because I think they might be just a little too good. In a user league, probably not. But in an offline league where there's no AIs that are able to, like, upgrade their team too much outside of free agency. I don't know if there's good enough competition there. But man, a lot of teams, they upgraded themselves in the draft, so it's kind of tough. Trent Brown, very good contract, but yeah, I don't want it. I mean, I want it, but I don't want it because I can't afford it. We can't afford it. I just don't want to afford it. I do want to afford it. I just don't think I'm going to. Like I said with DT, we do have an okay one, Mr. Adams there. If a 2-year 22 from Matthew Ioannidis isn't being accepted or no one's offering it, surely a 1-year 6.5 for Dalvin should be fine. All right, so we have 2 players here around 10. I don't know which one we're going to choose, but we give a pick 16, a 3rd, and a 4th next year to move up. Of course, our other first-round pick 17. I don't remember which one is which, but, you know. So 17 was the Titans, ours was 16. There's some talent here, obviously. There's some very good talent. However, the reason why we traded up is because there's two players I would really like to have. Mr. Doug Jeffries, who is an immediate need and could be an absolute steal. You have an offensive lineman, but then you also have Brett Moorhead. The problem with this guy is he is 23, but he won the Heisman. It's tough to pass on him. It's really tough. I think DT's a bigger need, though. Maybe Brett Moorhead keeps falling. Oh, no, he was projected mid-first anyways. I think I'm going to go with the age. I'm going to go with Doug Jeffries. And he is hidden. I am not mad no matter what. Even if he's only star and the free safety is an X factor, I'm not mad. And I really want that free safety too, but we can't. We can't trade up. We just don't have the picks. Is he still there? Still? No way. Ah, the Patriots get him at 15. Now, there are still other safeties. This guy looks really good. This guy's okay. But this offensive lineman, Bo Cooper, we need a new right guard. Ezra's going to need a contract soon anyways. So I think I might risk it on him. I don't know, though. They mentioned something about him being very smart, I guess. But I don't know, dude. He's 21. I expect a 74, 75 overall. So even if he's normal, he is still a good replacement for Ezra. And he is a 74, but he also is hidden. And not even just that, but he's actually ranked 17th. I don't know if we weren't here, if he would have actually went there or not. Because obviously, late first, we've seen can go anywhere. That's a win. I'd imagine star, but I would still take it. I'm going to go to the start of the second. If that safety's there, we might make one final trade up. Man, we have actually had some really good drafts in this rebuild. The safety's there, but that's not the safety, so I'm going to move on because at the end of the day, we don't actually need safety. It's just, you know, there was some pretty damn good value safeties there that I was going to take. Pat Devine, corner's not that big of a need anymore either. Wide receiver, this guy's pretty decent. Late third. I think we're in a trade down. The Browns give us a 4th and a 6th to move back to the end of the second here, or pretty close to the end of the second. I think it's okay. No one else is really offering us anything this year. And the Eagles are offering us a decent trade here. I'm going to take it. 5th pick in the 3rd round. That might be somewhere where you would like to actually take a player. We have a 4th round pick, a high 4th round pick. Jason Thomas. I don't really think wide receiver is that big of a need, though. Really, if you're going to take a wide receiver here, you're just hoping that one of these guys is like hidden or something. But I do like the late first grade on that first guy, though. Jason Thomas, he is 22. I'm going to grab him just for that late first grade. And I don't necessarily, like, you know, regret it, but it could have been better. And, of course, we still have this guy here as well. Sweet. I definitely want this DT as well. He's a late first projection with super strength. Raiders gave us a 3rd next year, even though at, what was it? I think it was pick 5. Nobody offered us a 3rd next year, so I don't know what that's about, but I might actually be willing to take that DT here. It might seem like a reach. What about this guy? Might seem like a reach, but man, that late first grade with that strength, I'm going to take it. 72 overall normal. That is technically a steal. Probably didn't need him that much to be taking him that high anyways, but here we are. We keep adding value for next year. It might only be 6th and 7th round picks, mainly 7th round picks, but still, it's something. As the Jets give us a 4th next year, I can't pass that up. I know that the Jets have been a little iffy. They've been actually pretty decent sometimes, pretty bad sometimes. You know, they've been bad enough usually to take that. Kicker isn't necessarily a need, but he's a pretty high-rated player, and our kicker might need a contract soon. So, hidden. Hey, I'll take that. That's a good value pick. Apparently the 44th ranked player. He's a kicker. Relax. And last time we traded with the Titans, it went well. So, I don't know. It was pick 17 anyways, but I don't know. I just felt like saying it. I just felt like doing it. And we're going to take a 3rd round projected quarterback, but, of course, he did have undrafted talent grade. It's a backup quarterback. What can you really ask for? Of course, development trait of a hidden, automatic number 2. Glad that Dalvin decided not to accept. Dalvin, I think, was there all the way until, like, the final week. His dev is, star. I mean, that's okay. Bo Cooper, number 62, pretty average right guard number. See, obviously he's going to be star, but we'll hope for the best. And yes, he is star. Anything else? We did get a kicker with hidden. This will be the guy with superstar. If any of them is going to have superstar, it's going to be him. And he is star. I still think I'm not going to do it for every team because it would take so long, but you got to get to 90. They got to fix that. It's not massive, but it's massive enough to where they got to fix it. This guy could actually play corner. Maybe that's what they do. I don't know. They like to move players all around the field in New England. Let's see it. Only star. Okay, so I definitely don't regret it then. Interesting. Was there even a first-round quarterback? Yikes. But hey, we had a halfway decent draft. And by halfway decent, I mean actually really freaking good. Which we can also trade Ezra off because he's actually not bad. It's just, you got to re-sign him. He's going to be wanting 8 to 10 mil per year. And now we actually have a guy with some massive, massive potential. We trade Adams, Ezra, Cleveland, and Dantzler to the Jaguars for pick 62, which I think is super value for them, especially as a team that just lost in the Super Bowl. So they have a pretty, not great outlook for draft picks. All right, year 4, we finally look like we're developing a pretty damn good squad. Obviously, Mond is looking decent. I really thought for a while there that we actually weren't going to, come up with a season or a career for Mond. I thought we were going to have to replace him. Defensively, we have some talent there too. The contract situations aren't too bad yet. And I think, do we have to give Mond a contract this year, actually? All right, here are the contracts. Justin Jefferson, you got to pay. Danielle Hunter, you got to pay. Eric Kendricks is debatable. Wyatt, you got to pay. Kellen Mond, hey. I think he's earned a 6-year deal. I think it's very fair money for us. Decent money for him. He had a slow start. That's a win. Wyatt Davis, a 7-year worth 60. Oh, this team is juiced. Of course, you're not going to get a deal on Justin Jefferson or anything like that, but you know what? The way Justin Jefferson plays, this man's locked up. 7-year. If someone offers me a 166 with, half of it being guaranteed, I don't care what team it is. I'm taking the damn thing. Of course, Danielle Hunter, I think a 4-year deal is actually pretty perfect timing for him, so good contract there. Anthony Barr is definitely gone. We actually have some talent waiting in the mist. I actually like Niguanu, so I'm actually going to take him. I think I'm going to re-sign him. Everyone else, I'm not so sure about. I'm starting to think maybe we do re-sign Anthony Barr. He's played really well for us, and he's only asking for $5 million. Man, it's a tough decision. Surratt, I don't know about all that now. I don't think we can actually afford Niguanu. Is that what his name is? Niguanu and not Niguanu? I don't know. Langwu. That's the one. Kendricks is decent, but that regression is tough. Can we just make it a 1-year deal and it's a little bit more guaranteed? I don't like anything about... I almost guaranteed him $9 million for 1 year, whereas the other offer is literally $8 million for 2. Normally it's so clear cut, but I actually don't know what I want to do. I don't want to lose both linebackers here. But Anthony Barr is going to regress really hard too, but one can argue Anthony Barr at 81 overall is almost just as good as Eric. He just doesn't have the coverage. I think we're just going to let them both go and draft a linebacker. We already have one decent one. We have an okay one in the mix. That's the one. Really? We lost to the 2-7 Bears? Okay. If we win, we're in. We lose, but we're still in because the Packers lost 8-8 with this God squad. I love it, EA. I'm loving it. I'm loving it, EA. I love the sim. Because the Vikings are never one of your favorite teams, huh, EA? Is that what it is? Yeah? Okay. It literally is the fact. The Vikings always get cucked over in sim. Kellen Mond, all of a sudden, the touchdowns are down, even though we haven't changed the scheme. We'll say rushing touchdowns were a bit up. Dalvin Cook crushed it. Jefferson was okay. Thielen was okay. Irv was pretty decent. Ware was better, but not much better. Once again, I'm not going to really, blame these guys too much because there are a lot of mouths to feed. Sack totals, there we go. 22 between the two. Pierce wasn't even that bad, and he's not really even a pass rusher necessarily. Interceptions are pretty decent. Kicking, good timing on McLaughlin, I guess, because Joe Garfield had a bad season. 4th in offense again. 12th in defense. 30th. Okay, we're changing the defensive scheme. That's it. That's awful. Defensive player of the year, of course. Of course, Eric Kendricks is defensive player of the year. Why wouldn't he be? But here we are, finally playing in the playoffs. Should have been here almost year 1. You can make the argument for that. We'll say the Packers and the... I'm sorry, okay? I just think about the Packers when I think of the NFC North. The NFC North has a pretty tough schedule this year, so, you know, just saying. Daniel Jones still the quarterback in New York. I don't know how that's even possible for them in the playoffs with that knowledge. 7-3. Defense is doing okay, even though they're 30th ranked so far. 14-3. Offense finally scores. Okay, I lied. They're doing kind of poorly. 21-13, still winnable. Got to score, though. There you go. Nice score. Okay, let's slow it down a little bit. Down by 8, driving. Well, we were driving as we give up a sack. Love that. Backwards, backwards, backwards. Offense gets another chance, and they just keep going backwards. Do I? Oh, they are going to. No, they're not going to go for it. I get it. But at the same time, I feel like this team is too good not to get this, no? And he drops it. I went for the possession, and he just doesn't. I mean, they score anyways. They get down the field in 2.2 seconds regard. Oh, the team sucks, dude. Why is Sim like this? I don't get it. How is the team so bad? All right. I don't know if I'm going to give it only one more year or not. I don't know. Because we kind of regressed, and we're getting worse now. I'm not sure, dude. We made the postseason. This rebuild it doesn't prove anything. It doesn't really give me the closure I want. We're heading on to year... Oh, we have a lot of upgrades. Oh, did I forget to put on auto progress? That could be part of the reason. All right, Super Bowl results between the Cowboys and the Chiefs. The Chiefs win. Headed on to year 4. The team looks as follows. Oh, it looks like Thielen has retired. We might have some money to actually go for a wide receiver now if we choose to. The team looks sick. I don't know how we're only 8-8. The team looks insane. Kendricks did regress pretty damn hard, I have to admit. I don't feel bad anymore about letting those guys go, to be honest. As now Eric Kendricks is willing to take less than we offered him, of course. Although, if Anthony Barr is willing to actually take this, I gotta, right? Really? We offered him a pretty fair deal. Almost double this asking price. Wish there was like a really, like, a kind of an older receiver here that only wants a 1 year. He's kind of hoping to... Oh, damn, Kupp wants a more than 1 year. Micah Parsons is normal dev. Interesting. Yeah, there's not really much for us to get here. Wanham is back in free agency for the first time in... I don't even know. I say back in free agency. First time I actually seen him in free agency, so I don't know why I said back. Chuck Friedman. I mean, if nobody wants this Chuck Friedman fella, I'm willing to take him. I will take that absolute steal. That's a win and a half. 5 per, pretty much. All right, so we are in the draft. We give up pick 20, a 4th round, and a 7th round pick to move up to 16 with the Jets. There's a solid-looking safety there. I do have other things, so I'm going to take a look first. But it looks like that guy is going to be the guy. Spain's not bad. This other safety is actually not bad himself, but this guy looks absolutely insane with that combine grade. I'm starting to think maybe Baskerville, though, is pretty good himself. Was there any other corners there? No, they weren't. There was some really solid-looking corners, and there was a wide receiver that was supposedly playing both positions. 78 overall, the freaking Lions. Absolutely love to see that. But I think we made the trade up. I think we're going to take him. Josh Chamberlain, please be hidden. And he is. We obviously have to take a look at the other guy. Ranked 10th. We took him at 16. I believe we actually moved from 16 to 10 1 year. I don't know why that's relevant, but here we are. This guy looks insane as well. Obviously going to take him. I might actually take him... I don't even might. I'm going to take him with our 2nd round pick. He just looks way too good to pass on. I do want to see that safety, though. Like I said, what's his name? Baskersville. That's one. Chamberlain's the guy we got. We have 2 2nd round picks. Doesn't really matter to me, regardless of what the picks were looking like. You can't pass on this guy. 75 overall minimum, right? Connor McCoy, 72, but he is hidden, and he looks like a god. An absolute win there. Something tells me superstar. I don't know why. Something tells me superstar. He was just so clear-cut. We also have this DT. DT's somewhat on the needs list. Late 4th. I might take him as well. That linebacker's probably worth taking as well. O-line, I think we're actually kind of set on. But there's some decent value in these picks. Early 5th. I think we're going to trade down to... I don't know, something in the 3rd, I suppose. Try to get some value here. We get a late 2nd and a 4th round pick from the Seahawks to move only 6 spots back. They must really want someone there. We also had, I don't know who the hell that guy is, but apparently he was on our list. The Steelers, that's another really good selection. I don't want too much value for these, but they're willing to give it up, so I'm just saying. Let's go to Pittsburgh now. And if the DT's there, which I imagine he is, I'm going to take him. Don Truman. Could be a steal. And as far as EA is concerned, it is a steal, but, you know, I was hoping for some dev, maybe. People were like, he has dev, it's just normal. It's like, yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for sharing. Left guard. Do we just take this guy as well? Screw it. We're going to take Alexander Aldridge, 69 overall normal, another kind of bad pick. And by kind, I mean definitely a bad pick. Next round, I thought I seen a 4th rounder on our list there. Oh, 5th rounder. Quinton Avant, he's an early 5th. We could use a running back, so I'm going to actually trade up with the Titans. We gained a little bit for next year. We gained some later picks for this year. I mean, we got some stuff to deal with. Got a lot of value here. That should be good enough, and it is. We're going to get our running back. I wouldn't say of the future. Dalvin's still pretty young, but you never know. Quentin Avant. Skip the combine, 72 overall. Looks pretty decent. Nothing special, but he's okay. And then early 7th. It might be early, and I don't think he's even that great, but I'm going to take him anyways. We have a lot of draft picks. Why not risk it? And, I mean, very good user, especially with the hit power. He's actually kind of a user god, but for us, we're not usering, obviously, so it doesn't really mean as much. And we might be able to turn some of this mid-round stuff into something decent. We turned 5 draft picks this year into a 3rd and 7th from the Saints next year. We're going to take a wide receiver, Chad Cleveland. We definitely need some aggressive catch, not a bad trait to have, obviously. And then we make one final trade down with the Texans. Move on to the end of this draft. I do want to see Baskerville, but I do obviously want to see the devs we had. We had 2 hidden, I believe, right? 2 hiddens. Josh Chamberlain, very likely shot that he starts at strong safety. And by likely, I mean very guaranteed. He's definitely going to start there. I know it's probably like, oh, well, you cheated. Obviously, you're going to start him there now. And then McCoy is just going to start straight up at middle linebacker, I feel. Or maybe outside, I don't know, but I was wrong. He was star dev, I almost said normal. I don't like linebackers in the 90s. I'd rather have something in the 40s or 50s. And speaking of, I am so disappointed with that number rule change. People are going to really like get mad at it once they see some really stupid, ugly numbers, because it's going to happen. I can almost allow some skill positions to have single digit, but even then, it's just like, eh. And, ooh, thank God we went with the guy we did, because this guy looked really promising. He actually looked like a guy maybe I was willing to take over our guy, but we chose the right one, thankfully. So I'm not saying that this is the last season, but it very well could be, especially if we just don't show any progress. I mean, at the end of the day, not everything is going to be perfect. And we're, kind of entering that territory where we're going to be pretty broke soon. Our number 2 wide receiver position isn't as good either as our number 3 as before, but it didn't seem to matter before anyways. Kevin Ware's got a lot of potential, though, and I still think there's a lot of talent on the roster. Mond is better than ever. Linebackers aren't that bad considering, Friedman's a little bit of a drop-off from Kendricks, but Kendricks is regressing anyways, and McCoy is pretty damn close to Anthony Barr already, almost, I wouldn't say a clone like him, not quite the hit power, but a very good player to replace him with. And obviously the D-line gets better. The strong safety position gets much, much better. So, I mean, in theory, if this isn't, a really good season from us, maybe it is the last one. 5 years is usually where I like to cut it off, especially if we've already won a Super Bowl or the game is just not allowing us to progress. Hey, Jason Thomas apparently gets to star development. And he's okay. Pierce does want less than, we expected. That's what he kind of wanted. How much money do we actually have? Remember when I was telling you that our window is closing? I wasn't wrong. So James Austin has played pretty decently well. I wouldn't say I'm going to give him any more than a 5-year. I just think you don't want to, screw yourself over contractually for life. I mean, this isn't bad for Darisaw. Offensive linemen are hard to get, so we'll pay him. Sheldon, you got to let go. Unfortunately, Cardana, that's a tough person to pass up on. I think you got to let Pierce go as well. We just have barely enough money to pull it off. Man, I don't know. You can't play man. I think you let Cardana go. You let him and Pierce go. Headed to the playoffs, and we make it, but we lose, literally every game. And I don't know, dude. I don't get it. You got to remember, we have lost a ton of games. All right, we have lost a ton. And what overall are we? 90, 89, 90, 91, 85, 91, 89, 94, 88, 89, 88, 86, 94 for us. 86, 93. So they are pretty decent, a lot of the teams, but we're still like the best or tied for the best, and we're only 9-7. Cool, man. Let's take a look at our another 28 touchdown season. Can we stop rushing it in? I want X Factor from my boy. But sure, okay. Thomas, I wonder if he has more potential now than Kevin Ware. Jeffrey's not a bad season at all. The rookie kicker, or the youngster kicker, only missed one kick, and it was a blocked one. But let's take a look at Mr. Jason Thomas, who is an 81 overall now, whereas Kevin Ware is only an 85. We have enough firepower. We have a ton of speed, ton of talent. We have enough firepower to make a run here. Baker Mayfield with the Lions, MVP of the league. Once again, I didn't like that. We could have went for him, but I decided not to, which ended up being a good decision anyways, but just didn't think it was very realistic for him to leave the Browns, especially as a 90 overall. 90 overall would mean he's like an above-average quarterback, which you probably wouldn't let go in Cleveland with their history. 94 overall to the 88 overall Seahawks, and I think, you know what? Because we're losing Pierce, we're losing the linebacker, we're about to go broke, this will be the last season. I think this is the snow in Seattle. Does that happen often? Interesting. Is that something that actually happens often? Okay. But yeah, I think this is probably the window, or 2 years ago was. Ooh, look at the stadium, or the field. Looks pretty nice. Pick turned into a touchdown. Gotta love that, as the offense seems to be really struggling out here. Defense is like the only chance, apparently, for us to do something, even though they just gave up a wide-open touchdown, apparently. 21-13, this is kind of how we lost last season. Can we please just win one game? EA really hates Minnesota. I don't know what it is, but they always have. Did we kick a field goal? I can't. I can't accept that as the fact. We're kicking a field goal to go down 9. Come on, EA. What are we doing? What are we actually doing anymore? What's going on? What's the point of that field goal? I don't get it. Gonna lose anyways, but here we are with the sim. And we lose. I'm done. Fortunately, Vikings fans, EA absolutely despises you guys. I don't know what it is, but they always have. I don't know if I've even ever seen the Vikings win a Super Bowl in our Sims. Let me know if you guys have. But this is apparently what the Vikings will look like in the next few years, which would be very impressive. Kellen Mond getting to a 90-plus overall would be very much so a win. Got the ability to run, and he never gets the X factor just because the running backs are kind of stealing the show. But Dalvin Cook, let's see how good he is. He's 30 now. That window is definitely closing. Like I said, I feel like last season was probably the window. You still have a chance going forward, but you're not getting better going forward. You're getting slightly worse. You're trying to hold on as much as possible. The O-line's insane. Best in the league, I would imagine. Sheldon, I think, obviously we're letting him go. We can't afford him. But he just gets the X factor there. And I believe that to be it for DevOps. Is there anyone else like Daniel Hunter's on the regression side, I'd imagine, because he would have probably been 99. No, he's not. He just never got to 99, which is a little surprising, I will admit. Pierce, did he ever get power, like pass rushing stuff? He did not, but 80's okay, I guess. Anyone else? I suppose Jefferson. Let's take a look at this man. 99 overall. Looking like a god. Oh my. Oh my, what a freak of nature. Wrecking ball, which is interesting. But yeah, that's going to be the realistic rebuild of the Minnesota Vikings. Regardless of winning a Super Bowl or not, or not even winning a playoff game, you got to assume with this type of roster, they would be very much so favorites to win the Super Bowl, at least get to the championship game a few times. EA just, they have their predetermined teams, and the Vikings are definitely not one of the predetermined teams, I will tell you that. They are probably one of the unluckiest teams in Sim that I've ever thought of. Let me think of another team that usually doesn't get there. They're actually probably the unluckiest team, if I'm not mistaken. Raiders are kind of one of those teams too, but that might just be because they're not that great of a roster. The Steelers, I almost never see in it, by the way. Eagles, kinda. Texans, never really. Sometimes, but pretty much never. Colts don't get in there often. But yeah, I think the Vikings are actually the unluckiest Sim team in Madden. I think it's actually not even close. Like, the other ones are kind of close, but this is the team that is going to get cucked in Sim. So, yeah, maybe I don't want to be them anymore. I don't know. Let me know what you guys thought of this in the comment section below. Do you guys think Kirk Cousins is still the future of the Vikings? I think he's good enough, unless an injury happens to where Mond really won't see the field for some time. But I don't know if Mond is the future either. I think it was a good pick no matter what happens, no matter the situation. A third-round pick for Mond is probably pretty fair. The team has a lot of potential. I think Minnesota's still missing a few pieces, but they should still make the playoffs this upcoming season. And the NFC North should be pretty competitive. I expect it to be a pretty competitive division. However, what are we going to see with that freaking schedule, man? The scheduling for the NFC North is brutal this year. It's absolutely brutal. And I know as a Packers fan, I bring up Rodgers a lot, but it's a big factor for the Vikings, for the Lions, for the Bears. It is a big situation. You take Rodgers out of the equation, we don't know what Green Bay looks like. With him, we know that they're one of the toughest teams to stop. Without him, who knows? We didn't see a smidge of Jordan Love. I honestly didn't even know if Jordan Love was still alive. I thought maybe he was in a coma or something. I don't even know. So I'm not really sure what we're going to see from the NFC next year, especially if the Vikings get the injury bug again. I don't know. I expect a competitive division, which I'm hoping for. And I'm hoping for some fun games in the future. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Speaking of hoping things. And maybe, I wouldn't say hope you like the video, but if you enjoyed this, maybe leave a like. Subscribe if you're new. If you hate EA and their favoritism in Sim, especially if you're a Vikings fan, definitely leave a like. Leave a comment saying EA sucks. Or maybe you're a rival fan. You're like, EA is just realistic. Clearly the Vikings. But yeah, maybe follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr. Second channel, PKR Plays. Twitch.tv/JeromepkR for streams. Could even be a stream tonight. Who knows? Anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya. She just gonna like walk away now? It'll take her the whole hour demo just to get down that creek. It's a little monkey! Ah! Oh, he's eating me. Oh! I knew it! I knew it! Get your shotgun out for the... Oh! He's on the roof! Look at his little jiggly jaw. Look at it. It's like he's laughing, too. It's pretty hot, though. I mean, scary.